Councilman Burns. I heard that ring. John, are we ready? We're going to begin up in 30 seconds. We good? Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Binghamton City Council work session, 6 p.m., Wednesday, 15 November, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk will call the roll. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Rossetti is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilmember Friedman.
Present.
Councilman Burns.
Present.
Councilman Strawn.
Present.
Councilman Scanlon is absent and President Scringy.
Present.
That's 4 here, 3 absent, Rossetti, Riley, and Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Quorum is present. This time, the chair recognizes Councilwoman Friedman for the purposes of a motion.
Thank you, President Scringy. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 1st, 2023 business meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Friedman, seconded by Councilman Strawn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. We'll move forward with public comment. Residents wishing to submit public comment may do so electronically by emailing their comments prior to 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting to clerk@cityofbinghamton.gov or in person during the meeting. Right now, each speaker will have 5 minutes per chapter 26 of the city charter. Please state your name and whether you work and or reside in the city of Binghamton. At this point, we'll move forward with public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Evening, sir. How are you? Mayor, forgive me. Yeah, like forgive me that they're really good, the mics, but if you bring it closer to you.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well,
floor is yours, sir.
it's been a while since I've been here. So good evening, Council President, members of City Council. My name is Rich David. I reside at 45 Court Street in the city of Binghamton downtown. And I think it's been probably over a couple of years since I've come down and been in City Council chambers. And I really came down tonight really just to say thank you. And I know that a lot of times individuals come down, it's mostly about concerns or criticisms or complaints or attacks or false narratives and whatnot. And I simply wanted to come down here and bring a positive message to all the members of City Council and say thank you, because a few meetings ago, the members of City Council agreed to sell a portion of city property to myself for a project that I'm doing in downtown Binghamton. And I think, as the members of council know, but probably the public doesn't know, it requires a supermajority vote, 6 of the 7 members. And I think all 6 members who were here voted in favor of it. So I wanted to say thank you to the members of City Council for supporting the project. I also wanted to thank my councilwoman. I live downtown, Councilwoman Friedman, who supported the project. So thank you very much for supporting it. I appreciate it. And just give you a little bit of an update on the project that broke ground about 4 months ago. And it's located on Washington Street. It's a restaurant, a tavern it's a new construction in downtown. There really hasn't been a whole lot of private new construction in quite a while in downtown Binghamton. It's privately financed. And we're within a few weeks of opening. So I will make sure to extend an invitation to all the members of City Council and the City Administration who played a role in helping bring this to fruition. We are approximately, I'd say 80% full with regards to our staffing. We're hiring between 30 and 40 employees. You know, there will be a few full-time and several part-time employees, but most importantly, we're taking an area that was a vacant lot that was non-developed for a long period of time, bringing new life to it, adding to the energy and momentum. that's taking place in downtown Binghamton, increasing the tax base, and just doing what I think is really a nice, fun project for downtown. So we're within a few weeks of opening, and I really look forward to everybody coming down and checking it out. And I really also just want to say thank you as well, because we know that next year there's going to be a change in most of the council members here. And that's actually kind of rare, actually, to have either all or almost all of the council members change. So I think that someone should come down and say thank you for your service to the city of Binghamton. I've worked with all of you for either let's see, 4 or more years, depending on when you joined city council. And I just want to say that I enjoyed working with the members of city council. I appreciate the support and the spirited debates that we had over the years. And also, I want to take a moment to thank Councilman Burns as well, specifically because there were several occasions where, depending on what we were voting on, it may not have been required a simple majority, which is 4 out of 7 for a lot of items. It's 5 out of 7 for borrowing money. It's 6 out of 7 members of city council to purchase property. And then there were many occasions where you were the deciding vote, whether it was borrowing money or selling property, or if somebody was absent. And it is not lost on me that I think there are times where you probably got some pushback or flack from members of your own party for supporting myself and the administration. And I have a great deal of respect for you for doing what you felt was right. You didn't always agree with everything that I did or proposed, but the things that you did agree with, that you thought were in the best interest of the city, you supported. And I appreciate that. And I think that should be noted, for the record. And you're a good example of individual working with somebody of the opposing administration. And Councilwoman Friedman and Councilman Riley, who's not here, there were several times that both of you crossed party lines as well to support the administration. And I appreciated that. And I think that should be noted as well. And as we transition into a new group of individuals, I'm hopeful that at the end of the day, the campaign season is over, the election season is over, and that we all can work together on, what we feel is in the best interest of the city of Binghamton. And certainly there are going to be disagreements on what it is, but if we can set those aside and just focus on really what's best for the residents and the people that we represent, that trend of continuing having bipartisanship will be good, because I recall that when I took office, there was a Democratic majority on city council in 2014, and there were several members of the Democratic Party that would consistently cross party lines because they felt what we were doing was in the best interest of the residents of the city, and if they disagreed, they wouldn't support it. So there's a long trend of bipartisanship on multiple city councils, including this one. And it's just hopeful that that trend continues. And I think that all of you are good examples for this incoming council. And I just think as part of the record that should be noted, that you have the thanks of a grateful former mayor. And with that, I know that there are several other people that would like to speak. So I will wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and look forward to seeing you when my new project opens. So thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else that would like to speak during public comment? Evening, ma'am. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
I am very well, thank you.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so my name is Linda Burkhart, and I've been here previously. I live up in Northern Broome in the town of Lisle. And I was thinking we only had 3 minutes to speak, and there's 5, so I may add a few things on to what I've prepared. Good evening, and thank you all for serving. And thank you specifically for inviting public comment at your meetings. Not all elected government bodies in Broome County allow public comment. I am here again as a volunteer for New York Citizens Audit, but I am not a spokesperson. I do share the information from New York Citizens Audit's published reports which are based on thousands of hours of research by hundreds of qualified people. For an official response to specific questions regarding these findings, I can provide you with a written answer from our volunteer executive team in a timely fashion or as soon as possible. We presented the City Council with the findings from New York Citizens Audit on Wednesday, August 23rd. We anxiously anticipated that you would have the opportunity to review the material and act upon the resolution, which was specifically written and prepared for the City of Binghamton. And it was included in the packet of materials that we provided that evening. We will respectfully read the resolution into the record. And you are really the people that we need to have help from. You are in an influential elected body, and it is of paramount importance in the effort to preserve our civil rights guaranteed to us by our Constitution, particularly regarding the election process. And I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to stress that we are nonpartisan. We are a 501c3 entity. We have not had any of our findings refuted, none of them. They were presented to Albany, to the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Board of Elections, and the state police, who then handed it off to the FBI in May and June of 2022, 18 months, and no one has refuted our data. There have been efforts to discredit our data, but there has been no basis. They have just been efforts to discredit. Nothing has been refuted. The algorithmic portion of the findings, where we have 4 algorithms running within our New York State database, has been peer reviewed and published. Again, solid science. We're not coming with an empty plate. The plate is full, and it is there for you to understand and help the citizens of Binghamton, Broome County, New York State, and in a federal election, very well could affect people throughout our country. So we are really here just to ask you for your assistance because, as I said, you are an influential elected body and you have a role to play. And we are looking forward to reading you the resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak for public comment? Evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My name is Sandy Carrier.
Floor is yours.
I've lived in, oh, sorry. never
You,
spoken
yeah,
to
forgive me.
microphone
You can,
before.
yeah, you can, if you bring the microphone closer to,
Okay, I'm
yeah,
not
it's
very
easier to
loud.
hear. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
I've
My
lived
apologies. The
In
floor
the
is yours.
Southern Tier my entire life, and now I'm a member of this group. I have a copy of the audit resolution that I'd like to read into the record, parts of it, and then some of my co-volunteers will read the rest. It's a bit of legalese, a little bit, so bear with me. Whereas it is recognized civil right in the United States for every citizen to have free and fair elections, and the right of suffrage can be denied by a debasement or dilution of the weight of a citizen's vote just as effectively as by wholly prohibiting free exercise of the franchise, where it is the affirmative duty of our election officials to comply with all federal and state laws governing administration and procedures of our elections, thereby guaranteeing our elections are accurate and free from distortion or manipulation. Congress seeks to guard the election of members of Congress against any possible unfairness by compelling everyone concerned in holding the election to a strict and scrupulous observance of every duty developed upon him while so engaged. The evil intent consists in disobedience to the law, whereas our constitutional system of representative government only works when worth of honest ballots is not diluted by invalid ballots procured by corruption, and assuring accuracy can only be achieved through fealty to those laws governing the following 4 tenets of an election. 1, the voter rolls must be accurate. 2, the votes counted must be from eligible voters. 3, the number of votes counted must equal the number of voters who voted. And 4, there can be no more than 1 in 125,000 ballots in error by a voting system. Whereas an open source audit of the New York State 2022 general election conducted by New York Citizens Audit has uncovered evidence of massive inaccuracies that violate both federal and state laws, including 5,142,950 seemingly invalid or illegal registration violations found within the New York voter roll database, 745,294 seemingly illegal votes cast in the 2022 general election, 35,312 more votes counted than those who voted in the 2022 general election. No one knows who cast them. 745,246 apparent votes in error above the legal standard for a valid federal election. For the 2022 election in New York, this number was 48. Certification as defined by law and attested of accuracy and compliance was provably fraudulent and illegal.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am,
evening.
very much. Good evening, ma'am. How are
My
you?
name is Sally Dorak. I live at 25 Adams Street in Binghamton.
Floor is yours.
I'm going to continue with the resolution. Whereas these findings trample accuracy requirements of voting systems for a federal election, wherein the system shall achieve a target error of no more than 1 in 10 million ballot positions or 1 in 125,000 ballots. For a voting system, accuracy is defined as the ability of the system to capture, record, store, consolidate, and report these specific selections and absence of selections made by the voter for each ballot position without error. Whereas it must be known factually and provably that the intent of the voters is accurately represented by election results before certification can be lawfully conducted. Certification of an election that varies from the law is an abridgment of the civil rights of the citizens, a fraud ab infinito. Whereas state and federal officials have made the efforts of New York Citizens Audit to seek redress for these egregious violations with indifference and inaction, including the Attorney General, Secretary of State, State Board of Elections, Inspector General, Federal Bureau of Investigations, state leadership of Democrat and Republican parties, county election officials, sheriffs, district attorneys, and others. Whereas none of the reported 2020 violations were addressed prior to the administration and certification of the 2022 general election, and there prevails a spirit of extreme contentment and zero trust between people of differing political ideologies across New York, which is destructive to our families, our way of life, and the fabric of these United States. Therefore, we call upon our representatives, including town board members, county legislators, state legislators, federal legislators, law enforcement, federal and state prosecution, and judges to provide relief to the people and the assurance of domestic tranquility through the fulfillment of each of the following firm requests. Number 1, a complete end-to-end audit of the New York State 2022 general election for both paper and electronic records, including ballots, by a mutually agreed upon external third-party bonded auditing firm, possessed of adequate insurance and indemnification for the handling and protection of the personal identifying information of millions of New York citizens in order to determine the true error rate. This audit will provide a comprehensive report and analysis of all lapses and errors with explanation of the causes where it can be determined. Number 2, the enactment of legislation defining a mutually agreed upon process by which an end-to-end audit would be triggered in any future elections. I'm going to let them.
Thank you, ma'am. Evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us. The floor is yours, sir.
My name is Jonathan Carrier. I'm resident of town of Owego, Appalachian in particular. Following on, the enactment of legislation defining a mutually agreed upon process by which an end-to-end audit would be triggered in any future election. The enactment of legislation defining a mutually agreed upon accuracy rate for the voter roll database. The enactment of legislation allowing for anonymous vote verification and tracking by the voter, open source, royalty-free, patent pending, including automatic mechanisms to report and remedy errors during the canvass period following an election, regardless of ballot entry scores. Excuse me. Criminalize election misconduct explicitly with regard to state election law and increase penalties to reflect the societal and generational harms inflicted by those crimes. Be it resolved that the city of Binghamton, New York, stands in support of the concerns and remedies presented here. We implore the city of Binghamton councilmen to cooperate and fulfill the fealty requirements of the people. City Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
That was excellent pronunciation.
That was pretty good, huh?
That was excellent.
City Councilman Sophia Recinti. Not so good. City Councilman Angela Riley. City Councilman Aviva Friedman. City Councilman Joe Burns. Easy one, Joe. City Councilman Philip Starlin. Missed that. Strong. Philip Strong. City Councilman Thomas Scanlon. We record on the current day of the year, 2023.
Thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate you. Evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. Hi, it's Holly Gruske. I'm at
Thank you for joining us.
2520
Floor is yours.
Vestal Parkway East in Vestal. And it's been a hot minute since we've been here. We were here in August, and I'll bet you're wondering what's been going on with us. Our broom tonight. And we, truth, have been all over broom.
We're gonna get another one for you. The battery might have died. That's
Yeah.
I'll make sure your time is not deducted for that, ma'am.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. I'm sorry.
So let me tell you what's been going on with us, because we've been real busy. We have been to we've been to every single town now in Broome County. And of those towns, we have 11 who have signed our resolution. We've also been all over Tioga. We've been to the Tioga legislature. We have for a presentation. We're still in subcommittee there. We've also been to Shenango County to their subcommittee. We've been to Tompkins County to their subcommittee. We've met with the chairman of Onondaga County Legislature, with the chairman of Cortland County Legislature, with the full legislature in Sullivan County, in Yates County. We are all over. And at this moment, we have 56 towns in 17 counties across New York State who have signed this resolution. And we know that Broome County is a leader because, quite honestly, our Southern Tier team is setting everybody on fire with all of the wonderful response that we've had. And we are very hopeful that our leading city here in Broome County will carefully consider and sign our resolution in this legislative year. I know that you've been busy with budget. In fact, we spoke about it. And I really understand that because with a big city, with a large population like Binghamton, it's a key issue. But we're done with budget season, and we hope that you will turn your lens back on where it should be, we think, with the people and with representing the people. And so I'm very hopeful that you will give this another look and will consider it. I know you have Corporation Counsel here tonight. You have our number. I can give it to you again. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to take them.
Thank you, ma'am, very much.
Thank you very much for the time and your patience this evening.
I
And for
appreciate
your
it.
service. We really do appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am. I should really quickly just to make sure that we're being consistent. I'm going to entertain a motion to suspend the rules for the purposes of public comment for those outside of the charter who do not work and or reside in the city of Binghamton, because we're glad you're here. We just want to make sure we're always following our rules.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. So may
Oh,
I?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules
Thank you,
to allow.
Councilwoman Freeman. Second. Do I? Motion by Councilwoman Freeman, seconded by Councilman Strawn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Thank you very much. Just want to make sure we're being consistent with our chamber rules. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Please, sir. How are you?
Hi, good. How about you guys?
Good. Good evening. The floor is
Good.
yours, sir. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Braden Florzik. I'm a student at BU, and I've lived in downtown Binghamton for about 3 or 4 years now. I just want to start by echoing what Mr. David said earlier and what the people behind me just kind of said. Thank you guys for your service. It's very tough being a leader. I think it's even tougher being a leader in a public office such as yourself. So thank you for that. So with that, what I wanted to make a quick comment on was I think some improvements to signage, parking signage on the streets of Binghamton. I think it's very vague, I guess, of when exactly you need to pay for parking and when you're okay. Personally, for me, I think this has resulted in a few tickets, if I'm being honest. And just, I see a lot of people paying for parking on the weekends when I don't think they need to necessarily. So just maybe a small addition to some of the signs I think would be very beneficial for everybody. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I think he is right. Mhm. Evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Floor is yours.
Surely. I'm sorry to switch. I feel like such an important conversation away to more signage. But my name is Jenna Picciano. I'm a resident at 60 Henry Street. I graduated from BU last year, and I am now a current Master's of Public Administration student just here at the Downtown Center. So I also had some concerns regarding signage. My case is a little bit more specific just because I genuinely fear for my safety because of young drivers in the area. So when you're coming from Upper Front Main Street area, cross the bridge over East Clinton, down Water Street, I'm sure you guys know the eyesore that was that parking garage, right? That got demolished or what have you. I don't know what the next project is for that. But essentially on the corner of Water and Henry, the parking garage was destroyed and the traffic light there was covered. It's easier to navigate traffic there because you're only really managing from 3 directions and there's a stop sign. But I still wasn't feeling so safe. So I would go straight down the bridge, turn right on Washington. Then I realized that one was way more dangerous. You have the Metro Center, popular restaurants, the Shop, Lost Dog, what have you, City Court, 3 massive student housing complexes, the Doubletree, the Broome County Forum Theater, buses heading straight to the junction. When you're coming down that way to the southmost part of Washington Street, if you are trying to make a left out of there, to go back onto Henry. Sorry, this is so semantical, but your right side is totally blocked by the flooded street parking. It is quite literally impossible to see over the volume of cars that are there. So essentially what I'm proposing would be a stop sign when you are driving east down Henry Street
Yep.
on that right side. Sorry, we're really trying to
No, that's okay.
get the visual for you guys.
Yep.
But I'm sure all of you are very familiar with how hot that area has become with the renovation of State Street, also nightlife, 221 Washington. I know you guys dealt with that nightmare last year. Still a nightmare, still busy over there. So yeah, essentially I would just like to see a stop sign on that part of Henry Street by the Metro Center. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you, ma'am. Or anyone else? Really quickly, I would just like, we did receive one electronic submission, so I did just want to obviously read that into the record. It says, request for discussion on Stewart Street traffic signs at tonight's meeting. Dear City of Binghamton, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Bogdan Marginian, and I am a concerned student who attends Binghamton University. I am writing to bring attention to a matter that has caught my notice, specifically concerning Stewart Street, which is located adjacent to the University Downtown Center, where I attend most of my graduate classes. It has come to my attention that Stewart Street lacks signage indicating whether cars are permitted to drive on that road. Given the proximity of this street to an academic institution like Binghamton University, I believe it is crucial to address this issue to ensure the safety and clarity of traffic regulations in the area. I kindly request that the topic of installing appropriate traffic signs on Stewart Street may be included in the agenda for tonight's business meeting. Having clear and visible signs will not only enhance the safety of pedestrians and drivers, but will also contribute to a more organized and efficient traffic flow in the vicinity of the University Downtown Center. Thank you for your consideration, and I look forward to a positive discussion on this topic at tonight's meeting. Sincerely, Bogdan Marginian, Binghamton University student, 4th District, Downtown City resident. Thank you, Mr. Marginian, very much. And Mr. Marginian, I should add, Mr. Marginian is here this evening, and he was kind enough to go with the email that he submitted earlier, which I thank him for. No, I appreciate you, as well as the others who joined us as well. Anything else for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward with first read legislation and definitely make sure that we will address some of those discussion topics brought up. I was going to get that at the end, but thank you. At this time, are there any members of council that would like to remove anything from the preferred agenda? Councilwoman Freeman.
Thank you, President Scurngey. I'd like to please remove introductory ordinance 23-149 from the preferred agenda.
23-149. Introductory ordinance 23-149 is moved from the preferred agenda to the non-preferred agenda. Are there any others? All right. Seeing none, with the exception of the removal of IO 23-149, Madam Clerk.
First is introductory ordinance 23-144, considered in planning, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Community Development Block Grant budget for homeownership and rehab to adjust for HUD program income reconciliation.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory ordinance 23-145, considered in planning, an ordinance to amend the 2023 home grant budget for rehab to adjust for HUD program income reconciliation.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory ordinance 23-146, considered in finance, An ordinance to amend the 2023 general fund budget for the fire department to purchase fire gear for the new probationary firefighters.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory ordinance 23-147, considered in finance. An ordinance to amend the 2023 general budget for Parks and Recreation Department for increased chlorine costs.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory ordinance 23-148, considered in finance. An ordinance to amend the 2023 sewer budget for additional legal expenses.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory resolution 23-88, considered in finance. Resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation Sports Matters Program Grant for youth sports equipment and program enhancement.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory resolution 23-70 or -90, considered in finance, a resolution authorizing an urban development action grant special projects loan from the Binghamton Local Development Corporation to L2 Properties LLC.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Next is introductory resolution 23-91, considered in finance. A resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a grant from Broome County for the design and printing of light pole banners.
Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
The last one is introductory resolution 23-92, considered in finance. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an amended agreement number 2 with GHD Consulting Services for the CSO LTCP post-construction compliance monitoring program.
Discussion. Seeing none, the chair entertains a motion to accept the preferred agenda as amended.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motioned by Councilwoman Friedman, seconded by Councilman Strawn. The clerk will call the roll. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Rezanetti is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilmember Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon is absent, and President Scringy.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, 3 absent, Rezanetti, Riley, and Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All introductory ordinances and introductory resolutions on the preferred agenda as amended have passed. Moving forward with the non-preferred agenda, Chair recognizes Councilman Strawn for the purposes of a motion concerning introductory resolution 23-87.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 23-87, a resolution to accept the Office of Justice Programs Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motioned by Councilman Strawn, seconded by Councilman Burns. Discussion. Seeing none, is the question called?
Call the question.
Question's been called. The clerk will call the roll. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Rezanetti is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilmember Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon is absent. President Scringy.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, 3 absent, Rezanetti, Riley, and Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Introductory resolution 23-87 passes. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Friedman for the purposes of a motion concerning introductory resolution 23-89.
I'd like to ask for unanimous consideration for introductory resolution 23-89, considered in finance, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Peter M. Popovich for project management services at Marabito Stadium.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motioned by Councilwoman Friedman, seconded by Councilman Strawn. Discussion. Seeing none, is the question called?
Call the question.
Question's been called. The clerk will call the roll. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Rezanetti is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilmember Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon is absent, and President Scringy.
Aye.
It's 4 ayes, 3 absent, Rezanetti, Riley, and Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Introductory resolution 23-89 passes. Chair recognizes Councilman Strawn for the purposes of a motion concerning introductory ordinance 23-149.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory ordinance 23-149, It's an ordinance to amend the charter of the city of Binghamton, chapter 327, use of rights of way.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Motion by Councilman Strawn, seconded by Councilwoman Friedman. Council discussion. Councilman Burns.
Yeah, Mr. President. When Sarah was here, Sarah Gloss, from our Economic Development Office was here. I didn't really ask all the questions I would like to ask, and that is to clarify exactly about what the restaurants will be able to do with the adjacent properties. And also, this is taking powers away from the clerk's office and changing the procedures. And it's going to affect so many districts in the city. I personally would like to talk, have some time to talk to the incoming city council to see what they think of this. So I'd like to hold it over if that's okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Burns motions to hold over introductory ordinance 23-149. Seconded by Councilwoman Friedman. Introductory ordinance 23-149 is held over. Thank you both. At this point, thank you all. We will move on to council discussion. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Friedman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am just checking my my book for any upcoming events here. Well, I do want to say that I held a community cleanup on Saturday. It was I would say, dare I say, it was a huge success. And I couldn't have done it without a lot of people. So bear with me as I give some shout outs. So first of all, shout out to Dave Holleran and the Binghamton Professional Firefighters Union. They were my official partners for the event because it was in the area around the new fire station, which I've said, you know, as the pieces of legislation have come up regarding the new fire station, I think I've said it on the record that not everyone is thrilled about having a fire station near them. Some people love it. They say, well, I feel safer, you know, God forbid my house catches on fire. It's nice to have a fire station down the block, but not everyone is thrilled about it. So I wanted to partner with them to try to, you know, come together and do some good for the community. So thank you to all the volunteers and their families from the Firefighters Union. Also shout out to the Astor D. Rice Foundation, who helped promote the event. They came to clean up and they provided the food, very important. There were also volunteers from the Binghamton Rumble Ponies Booster Club and also the Binghamton Salvation Army, and also some neighbors too. So I did, I reached out to people, they reached out to people, and then I did a lit drop, like a canvas of my neighborhood. And so it was really nice that all of the outreach efforts had an impact, and it really was, you know, people coming together. And we filled 20 bags of garbage. And when I first went to the Josh Paludi, the DPW commissioner, I said, maybe 20 bags. And he was like, well, that's kind of a lot. And I was like, okay, I'll bring the extras back. We filled up 20 bags and more. So there was this vacant lot that had a bunch of garbage. So shout out also to DPW and the DPW superstars, Ed and Dee, who came and actually picked up the garbage and took it away. So it was great. I'm still like riding the wave from that. And so this is our first business meeting after Election Day. Whew. So congratulations, truly congratulations to everyone who won their races, all of the politicians elect. I know from speaking to people that the council member or the candidates who won had an incredibly strong ground game. Like they were knocking on every single person's door. And I know that when I was running for election, one of the chief complaints that I heard was that once council members get elected, we never see them again. Now I understand why, because it's hard to have this on top of a full-time job. And, you know, it's safe to assume that a lot of people who run for office also have other obligations in the community. So it's hard. That's one of the things that I feel sad about, is that I didn't have the time or the capacity to do everything that's required and then also regularly canvass the neighborhood. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who won their races, and I'm excited to see what this next city council has in store. I don't know that there's anything coming up in the 4th district that I would like to highlight. Let me just, oh, actually, there is, so the Lee Barta Center is they have events all the time. Their calendar is available online, so I encourage everyone to check it out. But there is one event that I was planning to attend, so I wrote it down. On Wednesday, November 29th, there is a music and movement event with Miss Rebecca from 5 to 6 at the Lee Barta Community Center on Liberty Street. And I think that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Chair recognizes Councilman Burns.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to congratulate all the winners, and my condolences to those that did not win their elections. I know both feelings and the emotions that run in both ways. I am also disappointed that only like 30% of the people of the city of Binghamton came out to vote. The mayor's race 2 years ago, only 30% of the people came out to vote. And we need to find a way. I'm hoping that the next city council can do that. We need to find a way to engage people more in their city. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Chair recognizes Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I agree with what Councilman Burge just said. It is that part is a little bit disappointing. I do like the way New York does their early voting, 9 days in person. So it's not drop boxes and things like that. Very simple, very easy. I did it early at the Broome County Public Library. It couldn't have been more organized, and it couldn't have been easier. So I would like to see that percentage go up, regardless of, you know, that's everybody's right to vote, but that 30% number does need to increase, and hopefully we can work on that together as a group and team, and just be a good citizen out there to encourage people to do that. I appreciate the people coming down. For what it's worth, I support stop signs on Henry Street and Stewart Street. I don't know if there's an extra part of Stewart Street. I view Stewart Street as right by the arena, but maybe that's what he's talking about. But the signage is very important with driving, clarification of the parking rules, or posted at those kiosks. I'm not sure if we could do that. Certainly support that. And would like to add, when I was out and about, the east side of the intersection of Tompkins and Belden is missing both no parking here to corner. And it creates issues when people are turning off of Tompkins onto Belden and they're parked right up to the edge, because there's no sign that says they can't. It's hard when you're turning on there. If there's cars on both sides, they can't get through sometimes, and it creates a little bit of an awkward situation if you're making a left turn, especially. And with that, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a relaxing time with family and friends next week, however people celebrate that. And sometimes in my mind, it's better than Christmas in the sense of just relaxing and being with family. So I encourage everybody to have a great week next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Just a few words. Just want to thank everybody, all our constituents who spoke both this evening and Monday evening. Good to see you, Pops. And I I wanted to thank all of the people who came down and spoke. I want to thank the graduate students at SUNY Binghamton who came down, shared some really important information. I would also, obviously, I know we as members of the body will pass this on, but traffic division is also a great place, as well as the traffic board, to have a review of the respective stop signs that they were speaking about over on Henry and a few other areas. So we'll definitely make sure that we move those forward to those respective areas. I definitely want to thank all the constituents in the first district. We had another great meeting of representative, oh my goodness, of constituents, as well as the neighborhood watch just yesterday evening. Also do want to take a moment to thank Mayor Cram, who came down and fielded some really important questions and provided some important updates for residents of the first district for over an hour. And equally as well, I also want to thank everybody who ran this election season. Obviously, it's an incredibly important thing, and I want to thank everybody who ran and who won. Wish them all the best of luck as the new council convenes beginning of January, beginning of next year, and trust that they'll do a great job. And lastly, I just wanted to wish everyone and their family and their friends a very happy Thanksgiving, and hope to see everyone afterward. And with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Motion by Councilwoman Friedman, seconded by Councilman Strawn. We are adjourned. Thank you.